Hey, welcome to Midday Kentucky, everyone. We were just talking just then because Eric and Katie were saying, do you know where your safe place is? And I had no idea what they were talking about. I thought they meant a bar.
Oh, we're going to have severe weather tonight. You really got to know.
I didn't quite understand what you meant by that.
Okay.
All right, so tell us about the safe place.
What do you mean?
Just, you're new, you haven't lived here very long, just an interior room, preferably a basement. I'm guessing your condo or apartment doesn't have a basement, but an interior room away from windows. Glass.
For what reason? So tell me a little bit.
So if there's debris flying around and it goes through your window, you're not exposed to the debris or the glass.
Is this going to happen in central Kentucky?
Central Kentucky into south central Kentucky. A pretty active day. I'd say our best setup atmospherically, forcing severe weather that we've seen so far in 2017.
So you're saying the atmosphere is just right for tornadoes tonight?
Possibly, yeah. We could see some supercells.
And bad hail as well.
Hail, yeah. So the car should be in the garage tonight. Otherwise, you're going to wake up to a few dents. But we'll have more updates.
So on the scale of 1 to 5, what's the like?
So the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma, they handle all the severe weather forecasting for the country. They're giving south central Kentucky, like Lake Cumberland area, a 4 out of 5 on the scale. So
really?
Moderate. Now, us in the bluegrass, we're like a 3 out of 5.
Okay.
But still, that doesn't mean that we can't see some strong storms of our own.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
I'm glad you know what safe spot means now.
Well, I do
you should
now.
know at work and at home.
Well, do you all know where at work?
I'm going to the makeup bath, and that's where I'm going.
Yeah.
Well, if I have to leave the weather center, it's not good to begin with.
Yeah, if you leave the weather.
We sort of worry about that ourselves some days.
Well, now you know. There you
Now
go.
we know.
Thank you, Eric.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. Well, look, we're going to be talking a little bit later on with an author about her new book, Horse. This horse book that she's got. And I thought it was really interesting. If you noticed yesterday in Good Morning America, there's this new craze in Finland.
Oh, this is crazy.
Okay, this is a little crazy. Now, we're going to show you a video, if we can pop that up whilst I'm talking, but it's called Hobby Horsing. Okay, it's hobby horsing in Scandinavia, is the latest trend. Now, you know though, see how it's we didn't see how they have this horse on a stick? What do you call that here?
I would say just a toy horse.
A hobby
maybe?
horse? Or, okay, so this is a group of adults and children in Finland of this new sport. Now, there's 10,000 people doing this. This is the latest sport. But what they do is they dress the horse out. Not only, let me read this from my script here, not only are riders competitive during the shows, but the level of detail outside the arena is just as important, with the riders decorating their hobby horses, naming them and placing horse covers over their wooden bodies at night while they sleep.
I mean, this is pretty athletic.
Now, they're actually doing something like dressage and show jumping.
Right.
Now, this is a new documentary that's coming out about it. Now, the country's best riders are set to compete for the national title in annual Hobby Horse Championships on April 23. But here's the funny thing. This isn't just for kids. This is for adults as well.
I love it.
I can't stop watching this video.
This is awesome.
Well, this is part of the documentary, but as you can see here, see how they actually show dressage and show jumping, and they take the notes from that. Now, but the funny thing is, look, I sort of get it with the kids. I get it, but to watch grown adults do this, it's a little freaky. So just remember, everyone, 10,000 people are doing this.
Now, I'm mad because I wanted to share this yesterday, and you took it from me, because I saw it on Good Morning
I took it from
America.
you?
Yeah, you did. Our producer took it from me, Sam. Anyways.
Well, at least it would have been something interesting.
I saw it, very entertaining. I guess everyone needs a hobby. I know in kindergarten we did a little circus, and I was a cowboy, and I had a horse on a stick.
Oh my gosh, there's so
having
many
some
lines there.
flashbacks. Yeah,
I don't think I was ever fixated on the horse on a stick as a child, but I kind of think this is funny for adults. If you enjoy it, go for it. I think
it's kind
but
of
there are far freakier things that
Well, I
are
think it's a
adult
little
hobbies.
freaky that adults are doing it.
I think it's funny.
I think it's cute that kids do it. But, you know, growing up my whole life with horses, doing dressage and show jumping and watching the kids watch their friends go over a jump, I would often be competing and watch my father sort of like jumping at the same time as the horse, standing, you know, outside the arena. So that did make me laugh. I did think it was a little weird that the adults were doing it, though.
Everyone
It's
needs
the
a
fa-
hobby.
I felt a little bit creepy.
It's,
about
I think
it's
it's
kind of
funny.
like the people that play Quidditch from Harry Potter, where they run around on brooms and they play that sport.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of
like
too.
everyone needs a hobby. Whatever
Everyone
makes
lo-
you
and there are
happy.
adults
That's when they
playing
were
Quidditch.
flying around.
Yeah,
But there's
people
now
play
adults
it
that play the like
in real life.
broom
They run around
thing.
on a field.
I'm
on a
pretty sure
broom.
my dad played a version of that. I have a picture. I'll share it with you.
Okay, well,
but
that
I was
sort of
going to
says a
say,
lot.
it seems that dressage is a fairly expensive hobby.
Yeah.
So it
Not
seems
everyone
like
is
that,
exposed to
this is a
horses.
fun way to sort of do something
Yeah.
similar that maybe can just afford to get out there and have a little
Yeah,
fun.
look,
I think it's funny.
We're not knocking the kids doing it.
I think
and
it's
it is
funny that
quite
adults
unique.
do it.
Well, I think it's a little weirdo. But anyway, that's just my opinion.
I would totally do it if we got one here.
Oh, you would?
I would go out in
Katie,
the parking lot and
you're
hop
flat out-
around.
Anyway, I'm going to leave it alone. You would so not do that.
Yes,
If
I
that's
No, she
okay,
wouldn't. No. Okay.
challenge everyone.
Does anyone
We-
have a horse on a stick?
Oh,
that
don't
they
worry,
can-
we will
Okay,
come
good.
Monday.
Good.
And I'm going to set
Well,
some
good thing
jumps.
I'll be off next week.
Damn. Well, by Friday.
I'm off to
Today's
for a
Wednesday.
horse pony competition, a horse on a stick competition is where I'm going.
Exactly. Something that, speaking of kids, and about how do you feel when it comes to going into a restaurant and having children? And this is an interesting story that you found of what is the latest thing.
Yeah,
that's
this was
happening.
really interesting. There's a restaurant, Caruso's, in North Carolina that has made headlines after they banned children under 5, and then there was an outpouring of criticism. Yet they say their reservations skyrocketed. They saw a boom in business. So this is what they say, the final straw. They said there was a toddler that the parents had, and this is an upscale Italian restaurant, the parents were letting the child play on the iPad with the volume up,
Oh, that's
and
annoying.
they wouldn't
That's
turn
rude.
it off. So they say that was the final straw, and then they made this rule, no kids 5 or under, and now they're saying they're seeing booming business, a surge in reservations. Do you guys think this is okay, and
Hey,
would you like that?
Can I just say one thing? It's bad enough having being in a car when kids have iPads on the back of their.
Get them some headphones.
Yeah, get them headphones. And I've often said to my friend who's the mother or father, could you tell the kid to turn down the iPad?
Yeah.
I'm talking to you. And I don't have
Maybe
an
he
issue
doesn't
with
want
it.
to talk to you, Troy. That's
Everyone
his
wants to
escape.
talk to me.
Nah, we have our moments.
Anyone?
Well,
in
okay,
here?
so
No.
look,
Okay.
how do you feel about...
Well, I think
What do you think?
there's a set of people that don't want their dining experience to be affected by kids. They kind of have the theory of it's all about me. I'm paying the money. I deserve a quiet dining experience
Well-
without kids.
Well, I don't think they think it's all about me. I think they're going for the dining experience.
I do too. I'm surprised
Yeah.
we haven't seen more of this actually.
Yeah, I'm
because
surprised
I believe
too. I
we've-
think that'll be
I
more.
think
we've
they've
had the
tinkered on it, haven't
conversation.
they?
I mean, you
Haven't
could
they
always.
done it over the years, like sort of gone in slightly with this? I know there are restaurants in Australia that you wouldn't take your kids to.
Well, I think there are restaurants around here that you wouldn't, but you could. I don't know of
Yeah.
any restaurants around here that don't allow children.
No.
Do you?
I don't know. I'm going to ask
Not
one
that
of
I
our
know.
floor crew that have a couple of kids. Would you do that, Stephen? How would you be offended that you couldn't take your kids into
Steakhouse.
steakhouse, as an example?
It depends
Okay,
on the
he's
Depends
saying
on the restaurant.
50-50, it depends. Look, I also think...
I like that we're polling the audience. here,
Well, I
too.
just think...
Well, it's hard because obviously we don't have children,
Correct.
so we
and
could
he
have
has
a
couple of
biased,
kids.
skewed
And I
view.
think to myself, I don't know whether we can get Steve in auto cue into Mike, but I was just
I don't think
thinking to myself that how would I feel if I was a parent and was told I couldn't book a restaurant because of the policy? I think it's the same feeling that parents would have when they get those looks from passengers on an aircraft. It's not necessary. Like, I have 6 godchildren, and I have taken them to restaurants and upmarket and just ordinary restaurants, and they are very well behaved. Only because they know they'll have the wrath of me if they
Right.
started
You
squawking.
don't want Uncle
Do you know what I
Troy.
mean? I think it depends on the parents controlling the kid.
Yeah, I don't really have a problem with this upscale restaurant doing that 5 and under. Then it's your choice, even if then you don't want to give them your business when you are just an adult.
true.
You
I
cannot
mean,
go
you
there.
know it going
But,
in, that
yeah,
it's no kids
you know
under
going in,
5.
but what I do find annoying is when you're at family-friendly restaurants and there's people giving looks to parents
Oh,
for
well, that's not fair.
having kids.
That's
and I
not
really
fair.
don't like that.
Yeah.
I think if you're at a family-friendly restaurant and there's kids kind of playing or
Listen, when I'm having a good feed at McDonald's when I shouldn't be,
Yeah.
I'm not bitching
I
about the
know, but
kids
even
being
like
screaming around
Applebee's,
or
Fridays,
playing in the yard.
I think it's family fun, and I think most parents, from just what I witness out with friends that have kids or anything, they have a pretty good grasp on if the child is acting up for over a certain amount of time, they will leave the restaurant.
Okay,
Take
good.
them to Chuck E. Cheese's. You could always go to a
but
bar.
I
You
don't
gotta be
mind that
21.
rule at some of these upscale
Fair
restaurants.
enough.
But
okay,
don't give them your business.
we've covered this to death, I think. Now let's talk about something that you brought up. We were discussing yesterday. Equal pay.
Equal pay. We were talking how women in Kentucky make 82% on the dollar, or 82 cents on the dollar of what men make. So if we inspired you yesterday and you're going to go to your boss and say, I need a raise, we have some tips on how to ask for a raise.
Okay.
So they...
Is this from personal experience?
No. Well, it's funny. I was reading the article, and it's done by a founder of his own business, but they said it makes everyone nervous because it is a big task to ask someone for more money.
Good.
You know, so you've decided that. But there's a certain way to do it. You could either get just the cash money. Long-term upside would be like kind of a profit-sharing investment type thing, or maybe just think down the road. But they say, number one, choose your moment. So maybe you're having a really good day, something that stands out. Maybe go in on a Friday when boss isn't in a good mood.
Okay.
Be selective of your movement. Lead with data or stats. I think if you went in there and said, look at all the stuff that I'm doing, I'm going above and beyond, maybe it helps your cause. And then don't lose perspective. Just keep it realistic.
I think if you're going to go in for a wage increase, you've got to be able to negotiate.
I think so too. And it's often intimidating when you're negotiating with someone who is your direct supervisor or even higher up the food chain.
And always ask for 10% extra than what you were hoping for.
Because you know they're going to
Yeah, because you know you have to negotiate
I think the be realistic thing is the biggest thing to take away from that. I can't walk to our boss and be like, you're going to add a comma or two to my paycheck. Like,
no,
that's not going to happen.
Look, I remember all the years that I had my salons, and my staff would often come to me and ask for a pay rise. I'm like, you can ask for whatever you want, but explain to me how you're going to increase the
I thought you
take-ins.
said it was a set wage because it was a trade.
No, so you still get your salary, okay, but most salons also give a percentage. So you get a base salary, but most good salons would say, okay, you earn more than $2,000 a week worth of income, you'll get 5% of anything over that. So they'd quite often come to you and say, well, especially if we had a price increase, they would say, okay, well, can I? And I would always say, yes, you can have whatever you want, but you have to increase your income for 3 months, and then I will then backdate your pay
I
increase.
like that.
Yeah,
That's
and
good.
that always worked. They always got everything they wanted.
And maybe that's
good.
then good for someone, us
It's
thinking about
different
the
for here.
employee, you
Yeah.
can even suggest something like that, like you said, the negotiation.
I think it's harder when you're in a job that, like ours, which is a salary based, and we're full-time people, and there's no such thing as commissions or anything like that. It's a little bit harder. But what you could do is go in and ask for, you might not get an extra dollar because of budgets are already set, but you could negotiate things, time off.
Yeah,
You could
I like that.
negotiate extra holidays. Do you know what I mean? There are other ways.
Sometimes they just drop the hammer and say, no.
But then I think Troy's very right. You can negotiate in other things that you may
Correct.
like,
Yeah.
a few perks.
Did you have to say no to people? Like, I just can't afford it right
No,
now?
I never said no to anyone, because if I said no as an employer, then I'm not only stifling their income, I'm also making them unhappy at work.
Yeah.
Correct.
But I like that you
That was another
incentivized
thing
it.
that
Yeah.
they said in the article. They're like, if you're making more money and you feel like you are fairly compensated for what you do, you're a happier, a harder working employee.
I basically
I like it.
had a open checkbook when it came to staff and what they wanted to earn.
You actually
because-
sound like you'd be a good boss.
I
But
was.
why are you mean to me in our morning meetings?
Well, you're not very interesting, that's why.
Oh, that's nice.
Hey, after